Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 7th and 8th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to Kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Show on Tuesday, I guess. I'm your host, Tim TK, and I'm joined, as always, by one Mr. Aaron Humphreys.
The Almighty.
Yes.
You seem really dark in your little room.
I am. I'm coming to you from a webcam that did not adjust its auto exposure, so this is what I have now.
He's coming to us from the dark side.
Coming to you from the dark dimension. The
Tim is a disembodied voice now on the
Yes, yeah. And also joined by Jose Fuentes.
Yeah. That guy.
Yes. And the newest family member, Mackenzie Urban.
You mean royalty member?
Whoa. Whoa.
Queen.
Hello, Fruit Bat. How are you doing today?
She wore a crown the other day. So she came in sporting it.
I'll have to send some pictures to the group chat and on the Silverline Discord. Our company celebrated May the 4th, so of course I did the sensible thing and came in film accurate Kylo Ren cosplay.
Nice.
That sounds about right.
I was gonna come with my Darth Vader, but I was sick, so I missed it.
That's fair.
Darth Vader doesn't get sick.
Yeah, but Mackenzie does.
Yes. I feel like Darth Vader's entire thing is that he's stuck in perpetual sickness though, because
right.
Yeah,
half his body got melted. Yeah.
He's such a whiner. Oh my god, I get to play with lightsabers and be in armor, but I'm sick and stuff. Whatever. I mean, come on, he looks so cool. I mean, it's not a bad trade-off. My friend actually always puts her hairs up in little like buns, like Leia buns. She does that all the time, and she did it on May the 4th. Everybody kept saying like, "I like your Leia buns," and she was like, "What?" Oh, she's like, oh, get it? She's like, no, that's just what I do with hair.
That's just how I do my hair.
It is.
You've been Star Wars.
Too.
Yeah. I'm in the process of growing out my hair, so when I let it get naturally curly, I do kind of have the not quite as long, but I do kind of have that Adam Driver hair waving off to the side. So it worked pretty well.
Those pictures of us during the intro, right?
Yes.
Yours scared me, Tim.
Yeah.
They had that really nice clean cut one. I was fairly certain that was during your serial killer phase.
Yes. No, that was when I first got into working in finance, and then I quickly realized no one actually cares, and that workplace professional is strictly an East Coast concept. On the West Coast, everyone's like, why aren't you wearing flip flops and a V-neck?
I was going to say, you're not wearing flip flops.
Yeah. So that's more of my jam now. So today we're going to be talking about cover design, and so we'll probably have some better input in there from the actual artists and the people who have actually designed covers.
Do you know any artists?
Oh, maybe.
I
don't know.
Any good ones?
Clip studio artists. So.
Yeah, no good artists. I mean, we got a bunch of hacks here, but I mean, you know.
I'm currently being mentored by Jose to become a clip studio artist.
Right.
Yeah. But before we do that, of course, we're gonna break the ice here and kind of talk about what we've been consuming media-wise this week. So, Aaron, what have you been reading, watching, playing, listening to, ingesting, being submitted to?
What am I doing? You know, it's funny. It's strange. I've been playing 3 games, so I've been working digitally, and I've been working on my little desk because I've told you guys I don't have an art desk. It's a dining room table. That was my great grandmother.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it was my great grandmother's. I used it forever, and so I drug it in. I sit on the floor and draw. So when I sit on the floor and draw, I play the PlayStation 5, and I'm playing the original Horizon Zero because I bought the sequel, and I'm like, I don't remember anything from the original. I played it when it came out.
I can also interrupt you real quick. Yes, I didn't mention this, but Fruit Bat is, of course, Martin Mertonen. Yes, I believe that's correct. Yeah, our resident colorist for Wolf Hunter.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And then since I draw on the computer with my Cintiq now, I wanted to watch something, so I hooked up a monitor right next to me where I hooked up my Xbox Series S so I could watch YouTube. And now I'm playing Gears of War because I'm taking breaks. So I'm like, and then I started playing Doom 3 in VR. So I've been going in circles, and I play like maybe an hour a night, and then most of the time I'm drawing. But they're good breaks. So I've been playing games from proximity, what's closest to me at the moment.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Watching, I haven't really watched. I went out on a new comic day and bought probably way too many comics. I finally got that Sarah comic, the one about the Russian sniper. I haven't watched it yet, read it yet. But I got a whole bunch of stuff.
I've been meaning to order that because that's from TKO, right?
Yeah. Garth Ennis did it, and I got like a whole stack of like free comics, and so I've been reading the Oswald Chronicles, J.D. Calderon. I've been reading the first volume of that and really enjoying it so far. I really like the art and the story in there. As far as watching stuff, nothing of amazing interest. I haven't yet seen the Doctor Strange. I saw the Avatar trailer. That looked pretty cool. I like Avatar. I'd be curious to know if this is going to have the same impact that the original Avatar had.
We were kind of talking about that work because like the first Avatar was a movie that everyone saw once. It made gold-plated cocaine money, and then no one talked about it for 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and I know now somebody did say online that James Cameron, look, he made Aliens and he made Terminator 2. The guy knows how to make sequels. I'm like, he does.
True.
I'm excited for it, but again, when I saw it, I'm like, was I blown away? I'm like, well, no, it's more Avatar.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't like expecting it. I wasn't excited by it, but I saw it in the theater. I saw the trailer in the theater before Doctor Strange. I'm like, And after it finished, I'm like, am I excited for Avatar? I feel like I'm getting excited for Avatar. That's not something I thought I would say ever.
Yeah. Well, I heard that he's redoing the first one. He's going in and redoing the visual effects. Like it needs to be redone. I mean, it still looks amazing.
I mean, that thing had like a highest CGI budget to date by like several miles.
Oh yeah, well, Cameron's got so much money. He could do whatever he wants.
Yeah,
I mean, the guy's loaded. I mean, I think almost most of his movies make like Titanic was like #1, Avatar beat it. I mean, all his movies like top billing movies.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, he could do whatever he wants. I personally don't know if I mean, he's not. He's just updating the visuals because I know some of there was a few things in the original Avatar, like the clothing and stuff, that just wasn't there yet when they'd been the clothing. So I think he's probably updating some of that stuff. He's not changing anything, so it's not like a Star Wars where he's adding or taking. I think he's just updating.
Yeah, I think it's more like an mastering, to be honest with you, just like small things.
Yeah, he's re-releasing it in the theater. I'm like, you know, because somebody said like, what was it? Avengers, the latest Avengers movie was like the top billion movie, but they say Avatar is right behind it. But if he releases the original Avatar updated, it might supplant it.
Yeah.
He's so like, somebody took my spot. I need it back.
I know. Well, yeah, I never underestimate. Yeah, I saw that. Not really seeing any shows. I'm trying to think. No, I haven't really watched anything. I finished WandaVision and thought about starting. I thought I started another, excuse me, another show, but I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know. I just been watching YouTube.
Have you guys ever seen the Ang Lee Hulk movie?
Yeah,
I really liked that one. Nobody likes it.
The Ang Lee bootleg Hulk movie?
No.
There happens to be a scene where like it was evidently bootlegged before it was fully completed. So there's a scene where like in the desert where like Hulk's leaping in the air, he ain't got no pants on, right? They didn't CGI like the color for the pants, right? I felt that same thing was happening during the trailer for Avatar 2 when you saw that white dude jumping around. I'm like, did somebody forget to CG something in this? Like, what just happened? Yeah. Like,
yeah, I could see him. Like, I could see him.
End, I was like, oh, okay. But like at the beginning, I'm like,
hold on.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. I mean,
they did like a comic spinoff where like Neytiri and Jake took in like a human child.
Yeah.
So, like,
is that where that came from?
Yeah, I think I don't know if they're gonna follow the comic, but they had a comic. Like, I don't know if they made it non-canon now, but it was canon when.
Because that's what the synopsis of the movie said, that they've taken on a human child. Oh, so that's
really?
Where that comes from. So I wonder if that, because Dark Horse I think releases Avatar comics.
Yeah,
maybe I should check those out.
Yeah, because there's also the bad guy, the one or the antagonist against.
Which I love that guy. The actor who played the Marine. I can't remember.
No, not the Marine. The dude that played the Na'vi or antagonist. The warrior of the tribe. There's actually a comic book about him because Jan Dursuma did the artwork for it.
Oh,
I'll have to check those out.
Huh?
Sute?
Yes.
Yeah. Wasn't he the one that died in the helicopter and they shot him and he fell? Because there was I have a director's cut of Avatar where they added a few scenes. Yeah, and they added a scene in where they actually found him on the ground, and him and Sam. I know the actor's name is Sam.
Jake.
Jake character kind of make amends before he dies. But I do know that it wasn't, because in the movie they just kind of shot him and he fell, and then that was it. But in the director's cut there was a little extra scene because he was kind of an antagonist, and they kind of just tossed him aside. So he did add that back in. Yeah,
he was like that one warrior from Dancing with Wolves. That that didn't like Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. By the end of it,
he's on the top of the cliff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the end of the movie, they were almost like best friends. I mean, it was like that sort of gaining each other's trust. So, yeah, I'm excited. I know there's like 3 more after this.
Yeah, he said. It was supposed to be 2, and then he did when he was writing the 1. It was like. He was like, I think I need another movie, and like you said, he has enough money, he can do it. So he said he's going to probably go up to 5, maybe more.
What?
Yeah, he said, and it's kind of interesting the way he's doing it. I think is kind of cool. Each movie can be watched on its own, its own story. It's generational. So as you go through the movie, it goes through the generation. So the 3rd movie should be their children. as the main characters, and then I think, well, that's kind of an interesting idea. So it's generations, and then they actually show the evolution of, I would assume, the colonization of the planet by the humans or the fighting. So it's like, well, that's, I actually kind of like that idea. I'm like, okay, and each movie is kind of its own story and certain snippets of this family generational tree, and I'm like, that I like that idea
with Brendan Fraser.
The Mummy,
yeah.
I really like the Mummy movies. Nobody like. I even like the last one when they go to like
Asia.
And
with the Rock.
No, not with the Rock. No. The one where they go to. I think it's like Shangri-La or something like that. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad.
And was it they fight along the Great Wall?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know. Jet Li in it.
The Rock was in Scorpion King, which was.
Interesting. Now I remember.
It's funny because you rewatch the original Mummy when they show the Mummy, and the CGI has not aged well in that movie.
No.
Unfortunately, has not. But it's still kind of a fun movie.
It's the same difference of us watching the Mummy now, right? As when the Mummy came out, us watching The Thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same principle.
Yeah.
You're still gonna watch it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's still fun. I mean, it serves its purpose. A lot of times, the visual effects don't hold up. I'm like, yeah, but it serves its purpose. You generally get an idea what's happening storyline.
So. When you can tell when it's used as a tool as opposed to like when it's used as like a fallback. Like, there's a bunch of like mid-level action movies from the early 2000s. They're just CGI gore fest that no one remembers because they was using CGI as a crutch. Not as
That's all they had.
Did you want to ask a question to Jose and Mackenzie? Mackenzie's drawing amazing pictures of me.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know. Make sure you put the bearskin rug in just right.
I don't know if you have a good side though. That's the issue. That's why I'm having so many issues. It's like, what side do I?
Well, the problem is Aaron needs to get the mustache first.
All my sides are good. You know that.
I feel like every bearskin rug needs a Tom Selleck mustache to go along with it.
Right.
Did you guys ever? Because I did watch a show, but it's not comic related at all. Did you ever watch that HBO show called Minx?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
It's about this lady who is trying to start her own feminist magazine, and in the 70s, and can't get it going. It's completely fictional. There's no reality, and she can't get it going, and she ends up running to this guy who does adult magazines. And he's like, I really think your magazine's worth it. She's like, yeah, but you produce adult magazines. And so she's like, they're like, well, he's like, if you show naked guys in there, you can put your feminist articles, the things that you want to do in your magazine, in with the guides, and women to read it. It's a win-win. And she's like, no, but she didn't think it would sell. And then they released the infamous Burt Reynolds on the skin, that infamous, and it sold like hotcakes. I'm like, oh, maybe there is something here. But when you said that, it reminded me of that sort of like it came out and all the girls like, ooh, Reynolds, So it's a pretty funny show. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was kind of goofy. It's only one season, but it's pretty funny because she's like, oh my God, I don't do pornography, whatever. But as long as you get the message out and watching these two, it's basically like conservative versus liberal. They do that in a lot of shows, but yeah.
That's a bait and switch. We're gonna see pictures of Burt Reynolds. No, we're gonna give you feminist articles.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's like no, I only look at Playboy for the articles, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Jose, what have you been reading, watching, playing, listening to?
Is it bad if I say that I'm still playing Ark?
Nah, man. I mean, if it's a grind, that's your grind.
That is definitely my grind. On top of that, me and my wife have gotten into watching, and we've been doing it for a while. We've gotten into watching, was it Below Deck? It's like a reality show about like the people that work on like $1 million yachts or whatnot. So we watched almost all of like the regular one. Now we've switched to the Below Deck Mediterranean, right? And it's kind of like a guilty pleasure because we don't really, me and my wife and I, my wife and I, we are not dramatic people, and a lot of people are. Like, we're very much like, no thanks. Oh my God, blah 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 blah.
And those shows are so good. I always thought those reality shows are like, well, this is somewhat reality, and it's like, no, they're literally just completely scripted down.
I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, and they still make for entertaining, television.
And that's like me going to see the Batman movie. I was entertained. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Aspects of it I don't like because people are dumb. But
People are dumb.
People are dumb. I'm sorry. I love everybody, but people are dumb.
I agree.
Like
that's a fault.
This is why every time
if you give a blanket statement of, and I'm not going to go into it, but a blanket statement of, oh, the best detective movie that have they ever put out, I'm going to slap you across the face because that's just ridiculous.
No, of course
Like,
not.
I'm sorry. Have you seen any movie that based on Agatha Christie book? Those are amazing detective stories.
Yeah.
Right? With a Death on the Nile, amazing
so
detective story.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But it's the most I guess it's like the best, and it's not even close to being the best detective story. It's Batman. I mean, the cartoon did it better and stuff. But as far as live action movies,
it's the best detective Batman. But
yes,
but best detective movie in the last 5 years. Like, have you seen Knives Out?
Yeah. No, it's not even close. Yeah.
But reading, I went back and started reading my Delilah Dirk books that I have, which are awesome. Like every time I read them, I'm just like, the art is, to me, is fairly simple, but like the story is great, and I like anything swashbuckling. You know what I mean? Like my favorite genre is fantasy. Like it always will be. But like anything with swashbuckling, come on, with Errol Flynn. It's like, come on, man, those are awesome. And that's what the book is. It's like I have 3 books. I think there's one more that he's working on right now. But that, and then I watched Moon Knight.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, I did. I watched the second episode. I think that's as far as I got, and then a lot of those series, I have a friend that I watched them with, but I don't know.
You're doing great though. How aren't you? Like, didn't you just barely finish Seinfeld?
I know. I barely. It's funny. I try. Like, I don't know what it is about TV series, and it's not just Disney. TV series in general. Like, I have so many series that I'll start. I started that Vox Machina.
Vox Machina, yeah.
Yeah, and then I kind of forget about that. Then I start something else, forget about that. And
How
so I have
can you
1,001
forget about that
issue. Are those the figures up there?
That's the Critical Role Season 2 launch poster. So,
is it?
Yeah, Vox Machina is based off of the home game that Critical Role played before they became a TV show, essentially.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
It's good. Also, like, since you got in a Critical Role, it's really weird watching anything from a childhood now because I'm like, oh, that's Sam Riegel. Oh, that's Liam O'Brien. Oh, there's Matt Mercer.
I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't even I get voice actors, but I was like, oh, I don't know anything about that world and whatnot. And then I hear them talking and playing their game, and then I look them up because I want to know who they are, and they're like, oh, it's in this anime and this anime and this cartoon and this cartoon. I'm like, holy crap, I've seen that.
Yeah, so if you they're all in World of Warcraft. So if you played World of Warcraft, you've heard the entire cast work together. But like if you watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, they're like half these voices are Sam Riegel.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have too much of a budget, so like Sam was willing to work at the time. So like, hey Sam, you want to voice like 13 characters this season?
Sam has no shame. He's got no shame. That's what it is. He's like, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
I know. Just I gotta work, man. I gotta work. I gotta do something. Yeah. I think that's it. I thought I did start watching that series called I think it's called The Stairwell of the Staircase, which is a crime documentary.
Ooh, okay.
On Netflix.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's about this lady who falls down the stairs and they find her dead, but like the husband calls in the death and they think he murdered her because there was a ton of blood and lacerations on the head. And now it's a sort of like, did he do it or not? So apparently we watched the 2 episodes and then it jumps. It's like an actual, based on a real thing. HBO just released a TV series on it. So I guess it's like this big whodunit thing. I don't know. So far, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I read a little bit of Wikipedia what happened, but I still want to watch the full thing. So yeah.
Okay. Jose, did you have anything else?
No, that was it. I was done.
Was it? Okay. Mackenzie,
I am not a red guy.
Mackenzie, what have you been up to recently?
Oh gosh, I've been like anything for the new Obi-Wan show. I have just been scouring the internet for, and like Hayden Christensen is returning to my life. He never left, but it's like new content. So
speaking of somebody sitting in front of the TV going, "Give me what I need, baby."
I mean, Hayden is returning to acting after being bullied out of it.
I'm like,
I know, literally.
Back to me, and it's so nice. And I was like, he was in Berlin today, and all these photos were going up, and I was like, I'm living my best life. Sitting in Pennsylvania, looking at the internet. Yeah, but when the trailer dropped, I've just been rewatching the trailer, trying to get hyped.
There you go.
I really, like I said, I really haven't done haven't been playing games too much or anything, just with the renovations over here.
Yeah.
I've been the only thing I've really watched is I've been with the Johnny Depp case going on. I rewatched all the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's been my fun.
Yeah, he's that's doesn't seem like it's going well. But I don't know. I kind of paid attention to it. I have some friends who watch a lot of that stuff, so I will kind of sometimes ignore that stuff and then go to their house and catch up on it. So hit me up next week when I go to their house and catch up on it. Then I'll come back because I don't really pay attention to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
I just like the TikTok videos people are posting about it,
I
the different court scenes. Are like, I don't care what's going on. Like, don't get me wrong. Me and my wife are on two different sides on that one because she's very much like, how do you know Johnny Depp didn't treat her like crap? I'm like, oh, I'm sure he probably did. Well, how do you know that she didn't treat him like crap? Like, well, you don't know that because you don't know what she went through. Like, no, I'm not saying one way or the other.
I'm of the opinion that they both need therapy. They both need therapy.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think it's an either or situation. I think they were just two people that had a lot of problems that had just put together, and it was just like light the fuse and go to town.
Yeah,
it reminded me a little bit of that old movie, The War of the Roses.
Yeah,
I can't remember who started. It was not Kurt Russell. It was
DeVito.
Michael. Was it? I thought it was Michael Douglas.
War of the Roses.
Yeah, the one with they're going through a divorce. Okay, now I'm curious.
I was thinking of the actual War of the Roses. I'm like, House Lancaster.
Yeah. I know it's an actual war, but there was a movie called War of the Roses that was about.
Holy.
That was about these people going through a divorce, and by the end of the movie, they're just like kicking the crap.
Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito are both in it.
DeVito's in it, and Kathleen Turner, and it's just like by the end of it, they're just like wrecking the house, beating the crap out of each other. It's just like taking it to the extreme. Yeah.
I know from like people that know her that I think I think it was just fire and gasoline in that relationship, but I do think she was most part the antagonist and
that's fair.
Yeah,
I feel like Johnny did walk around with like the most battle damage from that one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm still surprised Johnny can remember any of it with all the drugs he takes.
I mean, at least he's open about it, and he's honest. He's like,
he is.
A problem, and I went to rehab, and it's it's something that is worth. I'm like, well, good on you, man. You understand the problem, and you're seeking help.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that Pam and Tommy, the way they did it. It was just two people who just very big personalities, very big, and they just clash from the get-go. So,
on my end, I have just started playing Jedi Fallen Order, and then I saw the news. It's so good. It's so good. And then I saw the news that Obi-Wan may have a tie-in to some plot elements from Fallen Order, and I'm like, I need to finish this and quick.
Dude, finish it. You're gonna love it.
That's
Watching wise,
the video game. Yeah. Is this the first time you played it?
Yes.
It is
really?
I got it. Was on sale. Yeah.
There are some like Star Wars games where I'm like, I can take it or leave it. Like the old OG Obi-Wan game.
It's funny because it's a dark.
Yes, it's Souls-like, so like I like that a lot. But also, it reminds me a lot of the old Jedi Knight games.
Yeah.
Yes. And Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy was my jam because the multiplayer for that was also
funny enough, playing Fallen Order made me want to play Knights of the Old Republic again.
Oh yeah, which Knights of the Republic also getting a remake here soon, and we're going to get a version though.
Yeah.
I
might have to be all the lightsaber hilts.
Stream, Tim.
I know we may as well dip out for a little bit.
I just remember that game.
Let's leave and go play like this video, all these video games.
Right.
Yeah.
If you guys, it's free to play, but Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO, it's free to play. We have a guild that raids.
You know, I just heard something. Maybe you posted this, Tim. I can't remember. Somebody posted on Facebook. So if you did, just correct me. That apparently when they filmed Return of the Jedi, they told the gentleman who played the Chewbacca, I can't remember his name, the actor's name.
May something.
Yeah, they told him not to run around the forest in costume because they were afraid somebody would shoot him thinking he's Bigfoot. Was that you that posted that?
No, it wasn't me posting it, but yeah, I'm familiar with the story. It's also Star Wars had a lot of issues with their different filming locations. Like they nearly started an international incident filming The Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker because they're filming in the desert, and they brought a bunch of like fictional vehicles out to like park there.
Oh crap! And people thought they were actually.
And Jordan had like called their neighbors like, "Hey, are you guys like planning something? Because there's a bunch of armored vehicles out in the desert." And they're like, "No."
That's a
movie. Filming. Yeah, so that was
that's crazy, but I mean, it makes sense that unless it reminds me of almost the that was it Fargo, the one.
Mm-hmm. Where the United States was filming a movie to actually raid an embassy,
right?
And
they were like, "Have you guys ever seen that movie, Fargo?"
No.
Yeah.
No, you should.
Yeah.
You probably appreciate it, Jose. It's pretty funny. It's a true story about these guys who are trying to rescue these.
Steve Buscemi in it?
What?
Isn't Steve Buscemi in it?
I can't remember. It
sure.
has Ben Affleck in it.
Ben Affleck, yeah. But it's based off the Afghanistan hostage crisis, I believe.
Yeah, it's called Argo, and so because they were trying to get the guys.
Argo.
Argo. Yeah. And so they were trying to get the hostages back, and so they had like, they were doing this big sci-fi movie like Star Wars, and that's what they were. Yeah.
And so I'm sure, for some of the countries in the Middle East, they're even if they're friendly, I'm sure their foreign relations departments, whenever the United States says they're filming, they're like. Right. Well, we need to double check this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need like triple confirmation for this.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I just heard that they not to interrupt Tim, but to interrupt him. Yes. There was something about Native Americans. I found out that lacrosse came from a Native American sport.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking. There was a story with these Native American tribes going to raid. I think it was an English outpost. I don't think it was American time. I think it was an English outpost. Mm-hmm. And they knew the English liked to play the sport that lacrosse is based. I can't remember what they called it. And so they got the sport together, and they got everybody, and they got all the English people out to watch the sport, and then they basically all like raided the fort. Mm-hmm. Like all the ladies who were there with the tribe had weapons and stuff, and they all of a sudden they like were playing the sport, and then they all together just charged the front of the fort. The ladies gave them weapons, and they just immediately like killed all the English and took over the fort. I'm like, that's ingenious because they got them to let down their guard with the sport.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it was crazy. I thought that was cool. I was like, wow, that's ingenious, man.
Well, Rudy and I just started. Humble Bundle had a Warhammer 40K special for their book bundles.
Oh, really?
So me and
second time I've heard that Humble
Bundle is it's essentially a third-party retailer that will that essentially just seeks out partnership licenses with different companies that want to essentially give away their product, and because all the proceeds go to charity.
Exactly.
And they will sell it at a discounted rate because the companies are essentially giving it away. So you can buy whatever it is, but all that money is actually going to whatever charity the company is associated with. So this was they're doing 24 books for $18, and so me and a bunch of people bought it, and we started a Warhammer 40K book club essentially. So I've started reading Carcharodon's Red Tithe, which is about Space Marines from Warhammer. So how many Space Marines around here? I probably do. Somewhere under. But they're all shark based. So essentially like
the Marines are all shark based?
Yes. So they're so imagine them in the mix of like the narrative elements of an Apex Predator with the super high gothic fantasy of Warhammer 40K.
Right.
It's great. Lots of blood, lots of pointy bits.
Lots of blood. I didn't think you liked blood in your stuff.
Yeah, definitely not.
What sort of perverse kind of guy are you?
I'm still trying to get Roland to approve an R-rated Silverline like imprint, do it like Redline or something.
I still think what can we do to get him to do that? I mean,
we're still trying to get the boobs in there so we can sell the rest of the.
All right, I know. Boobs. I just want to have I just want to have a scene at some point where I've had the story for a while called Zomboard, working title, but essentially, dude gets a superhero. It's a guy who known and miss, so he gets abducted off sleeping on the bench of the skate park. They inject him with experimental superhero venom. Goes horribly wrong. It starts necrotizing his flesh, but he still gets incredibly strong. So he's just falling apart, trying to get revenge on people who messed with him. And so he's have scenes where zombies reaches into a guy's throat, pulls out his spine, does the full fatality.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, fatality.
Yeah, exactly. Not as big. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah. That's what I've been reading. Just finished Moon Knight. For me, Moon Knight is my favorite MCU show. I like it a lot. It's great.
It probably sucks then. I mean, if you like it, I mean, come on.
The last 2 episodes were my favorite. Hands down, my favorite.
Yes, it is so good. But it's like the fact that it was standalone, the fact that it was all character focused.
Yep.
Like the fact that we went entire episodes without seeing, the Moon Knight. It was Stephen Grant or Mark Spector dealing with actual human issues.
Yeah.
Well, as much human issues as can be involved with the prophet of Amet trying to resurrect a dead god, but that's
that was weird.
Yeah.
The dude that played that, whatever the actor's name is, I drew a blank. Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, yeah.
Ethan Hawke.
Awesome Northman.
He has so many movies, you didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? More than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke. Oh yeah, Ethan Hawke was, especially when I was growing up in the 80s, 90s. He was everywhere.
And also the fact that he recently did also 2 kind of A-listed movies. I'm like, is he just doing this because he's a fan?
Right.
The one I always liked, and he's still out there. You have to find him, as Christian Slater. He still pops up every once in a while.
He does big roles. Was it Mr. Robot?
Yes, Christian Slater did Mr. Robot with Rami Malek. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he was the full-time character too. He was speaking of DID, he played Rami Malek's Mr. Robot's dissociative identity. He was the identity that he created to protect himself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Spoilers, Tim. Dang.
No,
it's in the first season. It's over 6 years old at this point.
What was our statute of limitation? How many years did we say? If you haven't watched it or read it by this point,
I know. I think for movies it's 2 weeks. For any other media, it's 5 years or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like next thing you're gonna tell people that Darth Vader was Luke's father, and the internet is shut down.
That can't be possible. No. Anyway.
I almost wish every time Luke says no, that's not true. It can't be. Yeah. I always just thought after what he went through when he finally told him that he was, I am your father. That Luke just kind of had this look of disdain. And he just kind of yeah, that figures, and just fell over.
Right.
It's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that checks out.
That checks out. Got
it. Just end that movie with
after today, I would believe anything.
If Han Solo get frozen, Leia says I love you, he says I know. Vader says I'm your father. Luke says I know and throws himself off.
I know.
Yeah.
Or just says, "Oh yeah, right, you're my father." Who's my mother? Right. Marilyn Monroe, whatever. Some other crazy. Who's my mother?
Lucas. We've got
my mom.
Did you know in the first draft of Star Wars, I never knew this, that Boba Fett was supposed to be the mom?
Yes.
I had no idea about that.
See, that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Boba Fett was supposed to be
Boba Fett wasn't Boba Fett yet, but he had this whole thing that the bounty hunter that Vader used.
Yeah, originally it's supposed to be she was supposed to be a female gunslinger that was kind of Vader's companion.
Yeah.
And now you guys are gonna think of Boba Fett and Darth Vader getting it on.
There we go.
Okay, see, look at it's all just gonna be wait, that's not right.
I'm get it out of my head. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Morrow feels about that, but
space version of the Quick and the Dead, that'd be great.
Right.
Yeah.
Other playing wise and also project wise, I've been playing a lot of Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game, which is the Middle Earth tabletop game. So
Have you been painting all the miniatures and stuff?
paint. Yeah, this one needs still in process, but painting some Rangers of Gondor because I'm running Faramir's Legion.
Are you winning?
I won my last game. I lost the one before that, and then we have a tournament we're going to next week. Actually, wait.
He doesn't know.
2 weeks from now. Yeah, it's gonna be on 20th. I just need to get my list turned in by next week. But yeah, we're going to a tournament then, and hopefully I can do the Men of the West proud. But we'll see how it goes.
I used to have a guy one of my coworkers used to play in Warhammer tournaments all the time.
Yeah,
I think there were like local stores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They would,
yeah. I have friends that play, and I'm like, oh, you want to play?
Now, Jose, you don't have friends. Quit lying on the air.
Yep.
The rest are paid acquaintances.
Yeah,
I didn't know we got paid for being your acquaintance.
You didn't get the check yet?
No.
No!
It's coming. It's coming.
That's got a gift card to Del Taco.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to get into like Warhammer now, my recommendation is just download Tabletop Simulator. There's perfectly good mods in there that have like full painted armies. It's much cheaper than paying GW hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah, that was the only thing that I remember as a kid that would stop me doing Warhammer was just the money sink. And when you're a kid, it's like if you like comic books, you can only kind of pick one hobby when you're getting an allowance. And Warhammer just was out of my reach.
That's the thing, yeah. It sucks. But then like I got into bolt action, and like for a fifth of the price, I got a full army and a half. I'm like, all right, it's literally just one company like price gouging. Cool.
Yeah. Let's go down that rabbit hole. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I barely have enough time to play the video games as a hobby anymore.
Right. Yeah. So that is what we've been reading, watching, playing, what have you. So we're going to get started on our nightly topic of cover design. Because this is something that if you take a program related to comics as a writer, as a marketer, this is like the first thing to tell you is that it doesn't matter what work you do. If the cover isn't good, it's not going to sell, because that's the first thing people see when they walk in the shop. So having a good looking cover that, you know, when people do pass their initial judgment, because unfortunately people do judge books by their cover, you know, makes them want to pick it up and you know, read the back fold and maybe pay the clerk the $4 and actually give it a read. But we're kind of in an interesting situation in that doing most of our sales through pre-sales on Kickstarter is that we can also attach some much more like marketing copy attached to it. But for most cases, and even at that point, you want to have a good thumbnail. Because if your thumbnail looks like, you know, but people aren't going to click it to go to your Kickstarter link. So we're talking covers because they are important. So kind of pass it around first. I'll play. Favorite comic book covers, least favorite, standouts, things that are burned into your image, into your mind.
I was just commenting on was it Stephen Vaughn's thing on Instagram that he had posted up a Jay Lee cover, and I realized that I have a lot of Jay Lee covers. He did the covers for the Dark Towers comics. He did the covers for Sandman the Dreaming, where Evelyn Bilkis did the artwork for. I'm a huge fan of that. Like, so I didn't realize just how much of a Jay Lee fan I am. But he did some pretty amazing covers, and still does. Like, they're just it's awesome. But him, I know I have a friend that really likes pretty much anything J. Scott Campbell does.
Okay.
I try to slap him every time he tries to show it to me. Not that I don't like J. Scott. J. Scott Campbell he's a big name for a reason. You know what I mean? He definitely sells. Yeah. Dark Knight Returns, Brian Boland.
That's a good one.
But I can't sit there and stare at his cover. I love his work, but I don't want to say anything bad because it'll come out bad. Because no matter how I say it, I'm like, listen, I don't like his cover. I mean, I could say it like every woman looks the same to me that he does. Like, and he was like, no, they're not. Like, this is Black Cat. And this like, no, I get that. But if you take away the hair and you take away like all the bases, even the head shapes are all the same. Like the body shapes all the same. Like there is no variance, as opposed to, and I say this because obviously he passed away recently, but George Perez, we talked about him.
Oh yeah.
For a minute, I thought you say Jerry Gamble passed away, and I was like, what?
No.
Oh, hold on. No, George Perez, yeah.
But George Perez, even in like the amount of detail he put into work, the heads he had for individual people were not the same. You know what I mean? Like Wonder Woman's head was different from Cheetah's head. You know what I mean? Different from Superman's head, different from Nightwing's head. You know, they're all different.
And speaking of that, just because being introduced to George Perez, probably after we get done shooting this tonight, Gail posted that she was on NPR and they're doing a full block just talking about George Perez's impact on not just comics but all media. So I'll probably be listening to that tonight.
Gail who?
Simone.
Oh
yeah.
Wow, I should have just realized that one, man. I can't even believe sorry, Gail. My bad.
What's wrong with you? Don't
I know. And she's pretty prevalent, like posting on Twitter all the time. And I get the notifications because I don't know how to turn off notifications on my phone. But I noticed like Gail Simone posted this, Gail Simone posted that. Other people haven't posted. Gail Simone posted this. I'm like, man.
And her level of crap posting is just a whole other level. Man, it'd be great if Superman just had a cape. Like it really like complete his purpose. But yeah.
It's all in good fun, Gail. Please don't cancel us.
No, she's great. She's still busy trying to get the bears off her front yard. That's the joys of living out here in Oregon.
Two frying pans. Gail, 2 frying pans. I'm not.
Yeah,
even
I don't think that's
joking.
going to really work. But you
Ask McKinsey. I lived in Pennsylvania. We had a bear come visit our yard. 2 frying pans. That's all you need.
They're just thinking like it's dinner time.
I've never used a frying pan, but maybe I'll try it next time. Usually,
because it makes a loud like. At one point, the bear came into our yard to try and attack my garbage can, and I ratchet strapped it shut. Because you have to, if you have garbage cans out anywhere, you have to ratchet strap it shut, or the bear will come in and have dinner.
Yeah, bears come down all the time and take our garbage.
When the bear cannot get into your can, it will flip it in the air down your yard, because just to say, hey, by the way, I couldn't get any dinner. This is your fault. That your tip will reflect.
Your tip will reflect.
Okay. Any other standout covers, favorites in mind? For
I have
anyone?
covers. I don't know if I have covers of comics per se. Like my all-time favorite cover is Kaneda walking to his bike, but that really wasn't a cover per se. It's more just an illustration. Did
it ever get used on any of the like 50 collections he got put on afterwards?
Yeah, I'm thinking if he may have used it, because a lot of times they would put kind of covers when they would do the short stories in the anthologies. And I don't know if it was used in there, but that's like
I think it got used on at least one of the movie editions.
Yeah, it did. It did, and that's one of my all-time. And that cover's been riffed so many times.
Oh yeah.
Of him walking to his bike. I actually was a big fan of the original Heavy Metal movie.
And that's a cure if anyone listening to.
Oh, it's a cure. The poster of the Heavy Metal movie.
Oh yeah.
Ari shares on her. I actually have a poster of that in my room because I like that cover a lot.
Yes.
I don't know. Comic book covers always like the Elektra one that Bill
Savage,
thank you. Yeah. I'm so sorry, Bill. I know the one, but the classic one, she's holding the gun, smoking gun. That was one of my favorite ones. I'm trying to think of other. I really liked a lot of the covers in the Alien Legion comics, but I couldn't pick which one. I just really liked the design elements of those.
Lee Bermejo has been doing some pretty awesome covers for Detective Comics.
Okay.
Like super like, oh my gosh, like you just look at him, you're like, I don't even understand how he does it. Like just a lot of detail work, a lot of like drama in the covers that he does.
Yeah, see, like I don't look for like artists or anything. I just like I'm kind of one of those people that I just know what I like, and I really love like the variant art covers. Like I like things that are unique and different, and I won't. And usually with variants, they're a little bit more expensive, and there's only 2 that I've like paid a pretty penny for. And of course, like I'll usually only throw that out if it's like something worth later. So I have like two favorite comics that I was like, I am going to spend the money for these 2, and like they're in pristine condition. I have them in cases because I just know what I like, and the like whenever anyone talks about like covers, those 2 are like the ones that come to mind immediately.
Right.
My current favorite working cover artist is probably going to be Martin Simmons from everyone's currently working, but it's comics you never retire. But the current ongoing series is Martin Simmons doing his work for Department of Truth. Those covers are I'm currently buying it as singles digitally, but I am for sure going to need to buy like the full like omnibus once it's done with the
Just
special edition. Yeah, just the special editions. Like here's all the alert covers. Here's all the like project art in the back because it is so like it's eye popping, intriguing, and unsettling. So I love everything about it. Yeah.
It's amazing. It scares me all at once.
I'm equal parts excited and afraid.
There was strangely enough, there's 2 covers, and I'll share these in the because it would be hard to describe them. So I will.
If I can manage to show this on the screen.
Okay, let me.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's some Lee Bermejo cover right there.
This was one of my all-time favorite covers of the Dark Horse.
That is great.
That because I like the skulls, and this was when because I was a big Alien vs Predator fan, and that was one of my favorite covers.
Yes.
Then and I think that's Dave. I think that's Dave Dorman, if I'm not mistaken, who did a lot of the art for that, except the last issue. So, yeah.
I should do this myself here. There you go. This is the type of cover that I'm talking about for the Department of Truth.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Right. And so we're so many issues in, but every issue has that same kind of vibe going on, or they get like ones that are like kind of stained glass effects or whatever. Right. But it's
Have you seen the covers for Nightmare Country? I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
But those scare the monkeys out of me.
Oh yeah. And then but then also just like one that like, well, what the title did it, but also just the cover art got me for the collection of Death of Wolverine.
Ooh, I love that one.
Right. It like as a concept, it's so well like
cool.
Put together, yeah. So that was in one of the ones that as soon as I saw it, I immediately had to grab. But also just on topic since they brought it up, Space Marines.
Space Marines.
Marvel managed to get the rights from Games Workshop to do Warhammer 40K comics, so that's a thing that's happening.
Who did?
Marvel, yeah. So that was written by Karen Gillan, art by Guillermo Ortega.
Wait, written by who?
Karen Gillan.
The chick from Milkshake Chicken?
Not that chick, but it's another same name, Karen Gillan. He's a writer, I think, also from Scotland.
Not to diminish anyone by saying chick, I apologize. I have to not say things like that.
But he's been writing some other stuff, and recently he's kind of blew up, man. He was on contract with Marvel at the time, and they found out that he'd been playing Warhammer since the 90s. So hey, we got this license. Do you want to write it? He's like, yes.
Right? Yes,
please. Yes, I would actually.
Right.
And it's actually pretty good too. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing is disappointing is when I cover is eye-poppingly awesome, shows some element of the story inside, but the interiors are done by a lackluster artist. Yeah, that is a whole.
That happens a lot, like more than it should, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want someone doing the cover that's like is gonna catch your eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excuse me. You want someone that's gonna be like that's hot that people know about to do the cover, or like I said, or someone that's gonna do it really well, right?
I think it's also, you kind of have to know your audience, because, I definitely, Star Wars is my forte, and it's sometimes I know for the comic books here. Again, I should have grabbed it before I came up. I forget which series for Darth Vader it was, but they were very original trilogy type. Because it was Dark Horse at the time, but then it was like right before they started like all the series for Darth Vader, and when Marvel picked it up and kind of continued it, they started bringing prequel characters into it. So it was like the original trilogy Darth Vader on the front holding like a deceased Padme and clone troopers all around him. And like I literally looked at that cover and I was like, I'm in love. I don't care how much money it is. I'm buying it.
Right.
So how much money was it?
It wasn't that much. It was
it's
like
a tax write-off. It's okay.
Yeah.
The amount of money I'm spending to go back and get the old Dark Horse Star Wars books.
The other one that I bought was like really, really was a prettier penny, I should say. And I forget, I know I like can see the title. I forget who did it, but it was one of the ones that, you know how sometimes when you go to like Comic Cons or whatever, the artist is there and they'll be drawing one.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of a kind. And I saw this one being drawn and I was like, I'm in love with it. And it's Darth Vader walking towards like Tatooine with like holding the hand of Luke and Leia when they were little. So you're looking at that back, and I was like, I'm in love with it. I think I spent like $200 on it. I was like, I love it. I can't let it go. No one else is owning this but me.
No one will own this. No, it will be mine. Oh, yes.
It will be mine.
It will be mine.
Could I probably have drawn it too? Like, just like looking at it and probably, but I had an emotional connection.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could have drawn it. I mean, I could draw anything.
No, just the way that the artist that I got, like, I feel like the art that I can do, him and I had a similar style. Like,
okay.
The Padme and Vader one, I definitely could never do, but like him and I had a similar art style, and I was like, I could probably do something similar to this, but I have an emotional connection.
But that's the thing, right? Like you want, when you're doing a cover, you want to like create that emotional connection with someone. You want them to see it and be like, I feel that. Like, oh man, I want to pick this up and see what's going on inside. That was just me bringing it back, but you know.
Yeah. Perfect. No, that's probably like a whole other thing we can get to. Like a craft series would be like on the craft of being an editor, like maintaining consistency across all the planes that you're working with. Because unfortunately, sometimes that just falls to like if you're working with a larger company where as an editor on a project, you have everything in line, and then last minute one of your artists drops because they have a kid or some other thing happens, and then the publisher comes in like, by the way, is this ready to go in a month? Like, we're gonna, half the budget here and just find someone to fit the hole. But
that's what didn't and Roland will obviously be able to know this better than I will, but isn't that why Marvel had their bullpen? Like they had like tons of artists in their bullpen just sitting there like waiting to chomp at the bit to fill in for something.
Essentially, yeah. There's a while. Well, actually, DCUN had one for as well, but not as long.
Right.
But yeah, there's a period there, back in the day where you couldn't just email like TIFFs back and forth. And like if someone lost something or if you needed pages done, you had to get them done and off to the printer like that day. So they couldn't wait on the mail. So then just have someone run into the bullpen, find someone who wasn't working, like, hey, we need this done now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the idea of that reminds me of like the old Superman movies with them like that, their bullpen when they were like writing like stories for the paper and stuff like that. That's how I thought people were just there, or Newsies, just like you know what I mean? That's what it like. Anytime I envision the bullpen, it's like like a musical going on in the lobby or something.
I know. I mean, sometimes it is like the fun thing about finance is that finance is one of the industries where the bullpen is alive and well, because if you don't have files coming through, there's nothing to do. But when a file comes through, you need someone to get it on and off to the next set of hands.
Right.
So, there's days where we're just sitting there. It's like, listening to, we were listening to the 68 today and just kind of talking about gym stuff. That was most of our day. Yeah. So
trade secrets.
Yes. The American financial system.
You're in good hands with us. I've had a lot to drink. Thank God this work coming in.
He's gonna get called to the office tomorrow.
No, let's see.
We watched your stream.
I did get called once. Was it the Sinclair Lewis of our time, just a writer who works in finance who is hypercritical of our financial system, but it still works in it. I was like, I appreciate your input, but man, you're kind of a downer. Anyway, that's a rant for a different show. The covers.
Covers,
yes. But then not getting too much in like the efficient side of it, because that'd probably be like a show for the craft of being an editor. But we kind of started talking about it. But creating that emotional bond. What are we were talking about some of our favorite covers and some things that stuck to us. What are some of the elements that you think, thinking critically here now? What are some of the elements that you think that made that cover stand out to you, or make kind of in general, or what are some aspects that when you see it, you're like, that's dope?
Right out the gate for me, it's the colors.
Mm-hmm.
I for one don't like hyper vibrant colors. I know there's a Doctor Strange issue out that's like very neon-esque,
right?
And like eventually I'm going to read it, but it's not one of the ones I'm going to pick up right out the gate.
That's something that I picked up because I love synthwave looking stuff. I am a total Europhile. So like synthwave, and then also like French style muted palette. So like the work Martin Butonin did on Wolf Hunter, like I am the amount of like emotional draw to that, and also the use of like Euro comic and muted palette at times, then popping reds. There's a lot. There's one panel in particular that I'm super excited for people to see, because it is. It's so Euro comic. I love
it. I'm sure it's like okay.
Aren't you watching? Be nice. No, but yeah, I'll blow his man up.
I'm the only one for like digital paintings.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like digital painted cover, like not knocking the guy's work, but I'm not a big fan of Art Germ's covers. Like, don't get me wrong, the guy's awesome, but
which one?
Art Germ. That's what he goes by, is Art Germ. But he does he did
You're welcome.
He did like a Poison Ivy, like I can't even tell you how to bring it. Tim, bring up Art Germ.
I can do it.
Make it so.
Make it so.
Well, he does. That's almost B.
Oh yeah, this is one. Yeah. Also, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Doctor Strange yet. Well, spoilers without context. I'll phrase it that way. I'm not going to say anything more, but spoilers without context. Open image, a new tab. Oh my gosh, that's so small.
Okay, yeah, this reminds me of like the sort of the Bishu or Bishu. I think it stands for Pretty Woman in Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spoilers without context, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even without watching it. That's clear. You know what I mean? That's
If you read the comics, you already kind of know what it was like. The natural projection of Strange, just as a person, leads to.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was actually mentioned, I think, wasn't she mentioned in like the? Oh no, maybe that was the animated movie.
And the animated movie she's referenced, yeah. But yeah.
I always liked Adam Hughes covers. I liked his Wonder Woman one. There was one where she's punching a pilot.
Adam Hughes sells.
Yeah, but there was one with like he's punching a pilot. Or like there's a pilot you see and she's coming at him. Have you guys ever seen that one?
No, it doesn't sound familiar off the top of my head.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I like painted covers. I think they're amazing. Like stuff that Joe Jusko did is phenomenal, and the work that guy does, he makes acrylics look like oil paintings.
That's the
that
cover.
one, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
and she's like flying into the. Always like that one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she's about to nail him. So yeah, I thought that was cool. And, it's funny. Some of my favorite covers. So it was like this is even the comic book. I really like the cover to the book of the Never Ending Story, the movie, with like the Orin and stuff. I like really simple stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to. It's weird because I collected comics, but I probably have more favorite video game covers in art than maybe comic art as far as covers, because video games have
it's the same sort of concept. Anything where it's kind of similar concept. Anytime that you have a medium that is primarily sold by just propping it up on a shelf facing the customer,
there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite covers is for like a traditional publication.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of dark here because again I did not adjust to like the contrast here, but yeah.
That's right. You've been sick. We won't hold it against you. Or will we?
Or was that his excuse? Is that what he's going with now?
We will.
We will.
So have you been dying, Tim?
No, just had some weird infection stuff passing around inside my sinuses and then into my gums.
Oh, so alien infestation. Got it.
Maybe, yeah.
That would be my guess.
I mean, it's as good as guess as any,
Right.
For me, I'm kind of the opposite of Jose, where a bit that would be just more subjective taste, but I like big, flashy, vibrant colors. Anything that is like synthwave or like neon.
Right.
The more Tron, the better sometimes. But again, also
I'm a big fan of Tron. I mean, like the classic one when he's holding the disc up.
Yeah.
Different, like the Doctor Strange cover I was talking about. A lot of neon stuff. Don't confuse that with Tron. Tron was amazing. Come on.
The more Tron aesthetic I can get on one image.
Right. I can understand. I am to Tron as Mackenzie is to Hayden Christensen.
There you go.
Who she's drawing right now?
She probably is.
I am not.
Oh no!
You so are.
It's Aaron on the bearskin rug.
That's straight up pornographic. You're gonna get this kicked off the air. I'm just kidding.
It's not.
It's Little Mermaid.
Hey Tim, zoom in on Mackenzie.
Oh, hey,
wait a minute. Is that the captain from the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Making out with Ariel.
Oh my gosh! Why are
you zooming in?
Yes.
On
there you go.
Aww.
There we are.
Don't look at her face.
So she's cheating on the prince
with him.
That's a move
up. I'm just saying that's a move
so
up.
you're drawing a picture about Ariel committing infidelity?
I don't know. It just came into my head.
I mean, you should draw the prince behind her. What the?
Right,
like him coming into the scene.
Hey man, this could be what she's dating now. She's a free woman. She can see what she wants to see.
That's right. Every time I see that, I just think of that movie Splash. I find the woman in my dreams, and she's a
gone.
fish.
She's a fish.
I like when she says her name.
Yeah, and he's like that. Okay. So yeah.
Listen, when I start drawing Hayden Christensen, all of you will know because I'll go, look at this.
Right.
She's lying. She's like, look.
Uh-huh.
No.
She's all sitting over in the corner. Is it getting hot in here?
Yeah. Actually, that's how you'll know I'm drawing him because you'll be like, "What are you drawing?" I'll be like, "Nothing."
Nothing.
She'll be all secretive about it.
Nothing. Nothing to see here.
People walking in the back of her room. Where are your pants? Shut up. Leave me alone. I'm drawing.
So anyway, we've established that color choice, either
That's a good thing. That's a way to get Mackenzie to buy a comic. Put Hayden Christensen's face on the cover.
There you go, yes.
And I buy it.
That's also another thing we can get to is like, you know, celebrity features, because that was a thing that especially got popular in the 90s. I'll again draw reference to Godzilla versus Barkley when they had Charles Barkley play basketball against Godzilla. Yeah. Thank you, Dark Horse, for that, Jim.
Well, you know, do you guys have any black and white covers that you like?
I mean, we could toot our own horn. I could say Cray. I mean, honestly, I think that is a good cover.
The cover I did, thank you.
Yes.
No, I think they colored mine. Now I'm trying to think of like.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like the black and white comics, I kind of skipped over.
Most of the black and white comics
I have a couple that I bought, but
independent.
it's only because I have the series or something like that. Like, there's one Darth Vader black and white comic that I absolutely hate, and I bought it just to complete the series. And like, I know Darth Vader's mask's supposed to look like a skull, but like he looks like Ghost Rider in the one, and I was like, I absolutely hate it. But
I will agree with Martin there. Yeah, the Batman black and white.
I was looking at those.
Yeah, that was a solid run. But yeah,
I always
for the most point, black and whites I get either because friends work on them or company loyalty.
Yeah,
right.
I always like some of the which were technically colored or not, but a lot of the Sin City covers are really well done.
Oh yeah, true.
But he would add splashes of red, but it'd be mostly black and white type art with like a red or main color.
Dang, there was a book I was reading just recently. I just drew a blank. Cloaked, maybe, I think.
Oh, okay.
Give me a minute.
I mean, I definitely do think black and white covers can be harder to pull off, but when you do pull them off, I think they can be very striking.
Yeah.
You really can't do a lot of black and white covers seem to work better with like a single subject. Instead of like a background instead of like a single person, a black background or something.
I'd like them to become like in publication. Like,
yeah.
But again, it is that kind of same thing where you have like a single subject, simple background, and then you use and then you use the black to do some like fun particle effects or what have you. But
the comic book Cloaked doesn't. It's more like a 1 to 2 color on it. That's it. Like they use the different values of those 2 colors. That one's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I love stuff like this. Now I don't know this comic, but I've seen people do stuff, which I guess this would be considered a colored cover. But I'm just sharing my screen with you all again. This is, I guess, Electra, but covers like this that are black and white, but have like a one.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the red.
I like that one.
Yeah, that stuff is very striking to me. I really like that stuff.
Yes.
And that almost looks like Romita Jr. Is that John Romita Jr.?
No. Yes, actually.
I think that is.
It is. Look in the corner.
Yeah. You can kind of tell by the face and stuff, but yeah. So yeah, I love stuff like that. You don't get it very often, but if you like a splash of red, Sin City would do that a lot.
I think I bought like a Venom comic that did something similar because I thought it was unique and it was kind of like just Venom's tongue. Like when it came out, it yeah.
Some of the new Venom covers have just been absolutely killing it.
Oh, they still. I like the Venom, the military Venom guy. I don't know. He was like a military
Agent Venom.
Agent Venom.
Yeah, some of the covers they did for that I thought were really cool. I just thought he was a really cool character. I didn't even read him. I just saw the covers of the character. I'm like, that looks cool.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't get me to pick up your book.
I like what they did with Venom, like as opposed to like just having him. Oh, I'm gonna go after Spider-Man. Oh, I'm gonna eat people's faces. You know what I mean? Actually, like gave purpose and whatnot when they gave him to Flash.
Yeah,
like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. And then when they learned their lesson with that, and when they brought back to Brock, they actually gave him kind of a full run with. I mean, Keenan Black kind of being the epitome of that, but where it's about him learning to become a dad, and then also realize that he can do more with that. He isn't just bound by vengeance and single purpose. But Actually, I guess it's an alt cover, but some of the alt covers for Keenan Black, I'll kind of get in there. But that is a black and white.
That's cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, see, those covers are really cool.
Yeah. TMNT, the cover's color. True.
Yeah.
Yeah, TMNT, the old covers did that a lot. I think they would do black and white, but it would be on like a colored piece of paper. The covers were colored. The original TMNT was like a black and white image, but it was like, again, a reddish background. I don't even look it up.
Did you guys pick up the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book on Free Comic Book Day?
I did not make it out to my my shop on Free Comic Book Day.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't actually make it out. I spent Free Comic Book Day at a library doing sketch cards, and then at my local shop doing sketch cards.
Yeah.
But I had a friend who does go out and do all like the fan stuff and whatnot, which is great because, like, as a creator, I don't want to say I don't want to go out there and get stuff, but like I don't really have the time.
Right.
I'm trying to get as much like comic book exposure-y stuff out to do, you know what I mean? Go and do conventions and and if I'm doing a convention, I mean, I rarely get up to go to the restroom if I can help it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll try and sit there as long as I can because I pay for the table. I want to be able to like promote my own work, even though I'm terrible at promoting myself. I'm terrible at talking to people. If people come up to my table, look at stuff, I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
And that's about all I got.
That's the thing. I feel bad like not buying as much physical as I do because then the split of it, like not like buying digitally, not as much goes to the actual like creators behind it.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's the only way I can buy it because I'm working on so many publications at once that I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy it in some way. So
there was
my comic book guy. He, like, obviously I have a pull list, but he's one of my good friends, and he hits me. I was like, bro, I have this comic in. Is this something you want? Before he like advertised it anywhere, I was like, I got this coming in Tuesday. This is new. What do you think? I'm like, yes, please.
There you go.
I'll pick it up Tuesday.
Yeah, I went out with my friends on Free Comic Book Day, and I think they just wanted to go to the comic shops and didn't realize it was Free Comic Book Day. I went to a place called Cosmic Monkey. I'm sure you know this, Tim.
Yes.
Cosmic Monkey.
Yeah.
And they had I bought a whole bunch of stuff there, and then we went to another store called I Like Comics, and I wasn't going to get anything. Oh, I spent my wad at the other store, and then they're like, yeah, everything, like all the graphic novels are half price. I'm like, well, they're half price.
Right.
And so I was like, great. I mean, if it's,
just like that, Aaron spent his retirement money.
I hate that. There's there is a shop in Portland. I don't even know if it has a name, but it's just a toys and collectible shop that is literally like in a basement beneath an apartment complex. So you have to walk.
Sketchy.
I know it's weird. You have to walk on the street level, and then you find like there's like these like classic like neon nerd painted like windows.
I just want
at the under level, and then you take the little stoop down.
There is a comic shop in Portland called Fallout Comics that just sells back issue, and that is not the one you're talking about.
No, this is a different one. This is like it's somebody's like toys and collectibles, but they'll have just the most expensive comic book issues just on this back table because they don't get in a whole lot. But when they do, it's like, by the way, here's a bunch of number ones. I got the first appearance of who's the older Jamie Braddock. They had the alternate cover for the first appearance of Jamie Braddock. I'm like, I need this in my life.
I like when you go like, okay, I'm not going to spend money. I don't need, and then you see something, you're like, but that would look like
$20 for one issue, no problem.
Yeah, that's why I always every time I go to Cosmic Monkey,
I say, but babe, it's a tax write-off.
Exactly.
I'm writing a story about this.
I know.
That's our arcade cabinets, which I've set up for free. So I'm like, I see if I just spend the next 3 hours playing Mortal Kombat, it pays for itself.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Every time I go to Cosmic Monkey, I'm like, well, I don't have money. I'm not going to spend anything. And Cosmic Monkey is one of those stores that has like everything. And I think There's not even really, again, it's not really Marvel. I mean, it's like you come in and like the first few shows like manga, and then all these crazy European comics, and then there's superhero stuff in it, but it's so intermixed in with everything. It's just they have like a foreign language section and a whole huge kid comic section, and that's great.
If you're ever down in the Salem area, Tony's in Kaiser is great because just walk in like, here's a giant box of Gundam. All right,
pretty good at building. I mean, I can build them. I only do like the block outline, but I have like I didn't even know where to put them. I just like building them, and then like, where do you put them? I'm like, I don't know. I don't have room anymore on my shelf.
So you got to build another Gundam shelf.
Build another Gundam shelf. Yeah, that just seemed obvious to me.
Yeah, I know.
I'm at the point where I'm like, all the lights I have to get from my house are like the stand-up lights with like the 3 shelves underneath.
Yeah.
So every lighting fixture is also like a Gundam display.
I said
Tim's at the phase of his life where like he has to stop buying bookshelves and start buying those, like go to like industrial places and get like the glass containers.
Like this is just like my filming studio area in the URC. Like I'm already rocking 2 like full-size bookshelves there, not including my upstairs reading area in my garage.
I kid you not, I went to a family friend's house today.
Yeah.
And I've personally never been to their house. I've and I had to go over there. But they were supposed to come over to my house, and they were like, "Could you just come over to our house?" And the husband was like, "Mackenzie, could you come in?" And now they have very nice house. I mean, very formal. And he walked me back to the back bedroom, and I kid you not, I was like, he had collections galore, and I seriously mean this. I mean, expensive figurines. Then he was like, "Well, come to the other room." The other room was jam-packed. Then he was like, "Well, come to my basement." I was like, this man could not have any more. He had life-size figurines. I mean, 60.
That's the life-size.
Then you know how like you go into a comic book shop or just a vintage shop that sells like action figures, and they're like on those racks. He had those racks in his basement, and he had like 600 things, and I was like, I never even knew.
Yes,
you were into any of this.
It's when someone says like, Conan, what is good in life? That's what is good in life.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now we know how to get Mackenzie. He's like, is it candy? No, it's action figures. Mackenzie, have action figures.
Mackenzie was in the basement. The dude was
There's
like,
a Darth Vader thing downstairs. Here I go.
Yep.
All right, we do have a
this man just went into his basement, but I was enticed. I needed to see more.
Oh no. We do have a commercial we need to get to. We are a little off topic, but we'll get back onto it when we come back from the commercial break. So we'll see you guys at the end of the break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 18th, yes, 18th Kickstarter for Silverline. That means we have successfully funded and fulfilled all the others beforehand. So if you've been one of those backers, thank you so very much. We really appreciate everything you've done to help us make these comic books. We so love making them. Our 18th one is going to be a little bit different. The last several ones we've done flip books. This time we're going to do a great big book, right? We're going to call this our Silverline Elite Edition. But she's elite because, it's at least big and you're going to get it through Kickstarter. We're going to have 3 books this time. 70 pages worth of story and art. We're going to have Beyond the Stars, #1. We're going to have The Obsoletes, #1. And we're going to have Cray, #1, the remix edition. We have taken the black and whites like we've done for the other remixes, and we have digitally remastered those and colored them. But you want to know about the books, right? So here's Ron Fortier to tell you about Beyond the Stars.
Beyond the Stars, the 6-issue miniseries. It's about the race of mankind in the far distant future. We've settled billions of planets, but one day, out of the edge of space comes a black void that destroys everything in its path. So the All-Mother, the leader of the race of man, assembles a team of dedicated, skilled science warriors to find a solution, to find a way to end this threat, and to save mankind.
Thank you, Ron. And now, here's Wes Loker to tell you about The Obsoletes. Take it away, Wes.
My name is Wes Loker. I'm the creator of the new 4-issue sci-fi action miniseries, The Obsoletes, which is part of this Kickstarter campaign. The series, with art by Aaron Humphreys, story and letters by me, colors by Haley Martin, and inks by Jose Fuentes, is about a group of intergalactic prospectors who are accidentally thrust 20 years into the future and are faced with a very different reality. The world they knew is unrecognizable, and their profession is more deadly than ever. But rather than ride off into the sunset, this crew of roughnecks set out to prove that they're still the best in the game, even if they are a little bit obsolete.
Thanks, Wes. And now here's me to tell you about Cray. Take it away, me.
Thanks, Roland. Cray is a sci-fi fantasy story of a world in which mutants and humans are at war. Many on both sides want peace, but during a mutant raid on a human village, a young human boy is taken as a battle prize and then raised by a family of mutants. Trained from a very young age in the ways of war, Cray dreams of becoming a member of the Red Guard. Basically, it's the Delta Force of the world. Until, that is, his village is raided once again.
Don't those sound cool? 3 comic books in one Kickstarter. One cover. And here's the other cool thing, right? If you're here for one of the books, you get to choose which of the exclusive elite covers you want. You want Beyond the Stars, you can get the Beyond the Stars elite cover. You want the Obsoletes, you can get the Obsoletes elite cover. If you want Cray, you can get the Cray elite cover. You got your choice, and we appreciate it. So, you remember what to do here. Please back it if you can. If you can't back it, please share it to everyone that you know who loves comic books and would love to get their hands on these. And until then, remember to make mine Silverline.
We're back talking about covers, and it's kind of a fun portrait cover that I found while I was going through it. But the alternate portrait of the King in Black by Pete Momoko.
Nice.
Super dope. Anyway, so talk about covers and what we like about them and what we think works, and why they're important. What are kind of your personal taste in covers? Do you ever find a cover too busy, or is it like, not enough there?
I hate when it's missing Darth Vader.
Yes. How do you guys match with 4-2 roll-ons? Is there a Kickstarter? Yes. We are, in fact, cloning Rollins.
Right.
That's all the funding goes to cloning Roland and funding the company's Del Taco budget. Yes. That Kickstarter is going up here now. Actually, I just wrote about it. If you're part of the Silverline newsletter, you got it in your inbox this morning, but that is currently ongoing, so feel free to check it out. Beyond the Stars, or not Beyond the Stars, Obsoletes is featuring already half of the show on Tuesday crew, so
that's because we're awesome.
Yes, so definitely check it out. Taste on covers. Do you guys ever find that too busy, not busy enough? What are kind of your preferences on subject matter? Do you like portraits, abstracts,
just
scenes?
Nudity? Just as much nudity as possible. In fact, if the cover is just literally flesh colored and nothing else,
right? No image on it whatsoever. Wow.
So the Necronomicon is like your ideal of a perfect cover. They're
Right.
just raw flesh.
Look, there's nothing wrong with rubbing the cover all over your face. There's nothing wrong with that. It helps with the with skin moisture, whatever.
That's why he buys 2, because the gloss starts to rub off.
It does. It rubs off.
No, you get the matte cover to exfoliate, and the gloss cover to moisturize. Yeah.
I like simpler covers. I mean, some covers are fun to look at, but they're almost like pieces of art. Like George Perez did some great covers, but there were a few covers of his, especially with like Infinite Crisis, that I feel like are great. They work as covers, but there's so much that I think they almost work better as like pieces of art on a wall.
Right.
So,
I'm not I know some people are. My comic book guy is. I'm not a huge fan of like the gimmick covers. Some of them are pretty cool,
Yeah.
Like some of the ones like I think it's the Shadowhawk ones had like the raised like embossed raised.
Yeah, it was like the
What I mean?
face, the head came off,
Yeah.
or there was one where
Or the
like it was the
Wolverine one with the
reveal.
with the cut marks in it. Like, I mean, those are cool, but they're not my go-to. I like something that's gonna have the art on it. That's gonna like anything that has the art on it. Like was it during I think it was just after New 52 started. For Mr. Freeze brings back his wife. You know what I mean? It was after Villains. Was it Villains United or Year of the Villain? And like the artwork of those are like just as good as the artwork on the inside, and like that's what appeals to me. Like I love painted covers. Like I love Joe Giusto. I love Lee Brandt, but man, those are great. And the only exception to that is not just because I'm wearing a shirt with the art on it, but anything Scotty Young does, because it's always fun. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the little chibi characters of like the X-Men, you know what I mean? The little chibi Thanos, stuff like that. Like almost anything he does is just a blast. But like,
Well, he used to do like who was wasn't it Arthur Adams that did the original X
that
Babies?
is a beautiful cover, personally.
Yeah,
so good.
What was that, Aaron? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, Arthur Adams, didn't he do the original X Baby comics?
Wow. I don't know for sure. I remember
it was an annual. It was an annual where they turned them all into babies. And Scotty Young didn't, but this was like the original cover. I think it was Arthur Adams. Because it was I think it was Mojo, and it was an annual, and because a lot of this is one of them where Arthur Adams would do like the X Babies, which I always thought was funny. And then Scotty Young started doing the X Babies, but I was like, oh, they still doing it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Which it fits Scotty Young.
Now that was different. Like same principle, but like different.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one Scotty Young does are and obviously it's his style, definitely a lot more childlike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But those were great. Like Arthur Adams covered, like, man, honestly.
Oh yeah.
And I mentioned this last night on the stream we did last night, but Arthur Adams is a beast. Like just a straight up beast. He'll take a page of 11 by 17 and he will perspective grid the entire thing at like 1/4 inch all the way through. And good gravy. Like you can see his product or process pictures on his Instagram. Like that guy is awesome. And he has such a great attitude. Like I can't believe it. But like you can definitely look at his stuff and be like, I can learn things from just by going like dissecting his process pieces.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Arthur, man, honestly, he did some Spider-Man covers recently, a lot of Spider-Man covers recently, actually. And just looking at those, like, just crazy. And I'm not even a Spider-Man fan. I know it's kind of sacrilegious to some people.
I guess it's good. Yeah, I remember looking at all the Arthur Adams. I liked his long shot covers, and I don't know if this was a cover
from the one shot, or not one shot, but the miniseries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a poster of the X-Men, and I think this is this is the X-Men Classic cover.
That's cool.
The Art Adams Spider-Man cover recently.
And they made a I know they made a poster of this cover. I always have to share. They made it. It was an X-Men Classic cover.
Yes.
But and I remember having a poster of this, and I always loved the poster. And I think this is supposed to be. I think that was the original, starting the original Claremont run, was that the Classic X-Men. But he always did such a cool. There was a few Wolverine images that Arthur Adams did that were just awesome. He was always my favorite drawing Wolverine because he drew him very short and stocky. which I liked.
And with the high horns on his thing.
Yeah. He was always some of my favorite covers. He actually did, when I collected those old Appleseed comics, he did some covers for that comic in America, which are actually kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Seeing him do
But do you like his covers because of the particular artist, or like being Arthur Adams, or just like his style,
I've always liked his style.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Because I think I don't necessarily I mean, everyone looks at a cover and they're like, "Oh, I like that cover. I want to check that book out," right? And that's ideally what we're going for. But like, I try my best. Like, even if I don't collect the book, I'll collect the book because one of my favorite artists did the cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like almost anything that Humberto Ramos did, I'll collect. Like I partially have some of was it Strange Academy, because he did the artwork for it, and the Crimson story book that he did, and then there's another one called Revelations, and I haven't read it yet. It's a 1 through 6 miniseries, but I'm missing issue like 4, so I don't want to start reading it until I can find issue 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep looking at the cover. I'm like, I'll get to you.
I'll get to you. Hold your breath.
Right?
I've been reading through the Comixology original Dot Self, because the artwork and the cover was done by Kara McGee, and I liked a lot of her work. So just the way she does that one is fantastic too. But
see, like, I feel like, again, I don't really necessarily follow. I'm sure if I actually sat down and looked at it, I do have my favorites when it comes to the comic. But like I get so enticed, first of all, like vintage comics, and second of all, like any comic that I might not even be into, but it's like it's a simple color or a simple image, but they can it's so powerful. Like if they can tell me a story in that one image, and I'm like enticed by it. Like I remember I was going somewhere. Went to like kind of antiquing, but there was like comics there, and there was one of like Johnny Storm and Spider-Man, and I was just like, yep, I'm in for this one, because it like was such, like, I don't know, I loved, like, it was such a simple image. It was just the two of them, and I was like, but this is amazing. I love it.
I'm also a fan of simple images. Like, if I'm a writer, take my writing off the cover. Just like, just put that. Don't need title, don't need credits. We'll get that later on. Just put the image on there. But like simple images, I'm super into.
Yeah.
Kind of getting into Infra's question here. What do you prefer more to cover? The story, a funny cover, artistic expression, or straight up crazy action. Sometimes I do love the random funny cover. Like occasionally, where like if it's a Deadpool feature on another character, or where like Deadpool will pop into the cover and will essentially start the issue at that point. It happened a few times with like Punisher or Spider-Man, where Deadpool just pops into the cover like that. But I'm a fan of just simple portraits, actually, which is a weird thing that I've always.
Boy, that is weird.
I know it's something I've always have.
Yeah, I don't
preferred,
like those.
But I have never like really thought about or realized. But I mean, I should have known, given that the Frank Miller Wolverine cover was like, yeah. and then like every comic I get is like, oh, if it's just like a simple portrait, I'm super into it. I also recently I was in someone's garage and I saw they had the poster of this cover, like in the original printing in frame. I'm like, I
bought a Superman comic the other day. The other thing people entice me with is dinosaurs, and they had a dinosaur in the Superman comic, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it.
That's actually a new.
There was a damn dinosaur.
There's a new storyline coming for Justice League and whatnot. Side note, where it's like Jurassic League, and it's like Wonder Woman is like a Triceratops, and like was it Superman's a Rex or something like that.
Yes,
but I've already put them like pre-ordered them on my pull list. Like, those are mine.
That's the thing.
They entice me with dinosaurs, but then like that comic, there was no single dinosaur except on the cover, and I was like, well, at least I like the cover.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, when Moon Girl came out, that's when I was like, it's a comic with a dinosaur on the cover, and there's dinosaurs in the comics.
Yeah, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Did you ever read a comic, McKinsey, called Age of Reptiles?
Age of Reptiles. I don't think so.
Wow.
Not like
okay.
Animorphs?
Yeah, no. Age of Reptiles is an actual. I'll show you some images. It was a comic done by Dark Horse in the early 90s. And it was all just like, it's basically just a book about dinosaurs. There's no words in it. It's just following these dinosaurs around. Yeah, it's awesome. It ran for like 5 or 6 issues. But the artwork is fantastic in it.
Yeah, and for a fan on my end, I actually like the old classic like 80s and 90s covers where they would kind of give you like a little hint or an enticement of like what's going to be in the story. Like, oh, will Spider-Man make it out of this, or will what will happen to Nightcrawler? Stuff like that. I like one of the most recent issues I got of Detective Comics. I'm a huge Detective Comics fan. Like, I don't even like Batman, but I like Detective Comics. I know it's weird but originally I started collecting it just because.
It was the question that got you into it, right?
Right. Well, yeah. Right. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So it's like amazing art on it, and like throughout it's people like walking towards in one direction, and Batman's walking against them, and there are people around him, and they all have like one has like a green backpack, and the other one's like green jacket and green outfit and green this and green hat. You know what I mean? It's like a flat green, so like it gives the shape of a question mark. Obviously enticing that it's something to do with the Riddler, right? Again, I have the issue, haven't read it yet, but because it's on my list of stuff that I can't pick up yet. If I do, I'm gonna want to run through the entire Detective Comic run I have right now, and there are like 10 issues I haven't read yet. But anyway, that appealed to me. On top of that, the Lee Bermejo cover for that has the Riddler like kind of dancing on it, which is super, super awesome. But like, I'm going to pick up the Lee cover because they're amazing, and I want to collect all the covers that he's done for Detective Comics. You know what I mean, just in succession. But I had to get the variant cover for that has the question mark in it, just because that to me like tells like oh, that is drawing me. It's like, oh, it's got to do with the Riddler. Man, I want to know what's going on. And I like the OG Riddler. I don't like the Batman movie Riddler. I love the actor, don't love the character. But like anything, like even when Greg Capullo had the storyline in there with the Riddler, I think it was like after the Court of Owls storyline, like that was fantastic because like Riddler, I think it's just such a great character. Not my favorite Batman villain, but such a great character. By the way,
glad we got a Batman movie that wasn't the Joker.
That is my favorite Batman character.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Right?
I love Clayface.
I love Clayface. Clayface is what brought me back into comics, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I used to collect comics. My first comics were Conan comics that my dad used to have under his bed. And then, you know what I mean? Then I really didn't like know much about comics after that. A couple things here and there, when I would pick up at the supermarket.
I love the fact that comics are under the bed. Like, it's like
and he had it in a box, like a shoebox under the bed. Like, I mean, I found him. I was doing something. I don't know. I probably had Matchbox cars running around everywhere. And I found him, and I just started flipping through them, and I loved the artwork, like all the ink work in it, because it was all black and white on like newsprint.
Yeah, the old Conan comics were black and white.
Yeah, they were fantastic. But then, like in junior high, we were taking SATs, and I didn't bring anything to read. I was bored, and I was out of paper because I couldn't draw on anything else. They wouldn't let me draw on my desk. And so this kid offered me to read some of his Batman books, and he had the Mud Pack storyline. And it was over after that. Like I read the Mud Pack, and that was Detective Comics for me. Like after that, so
the birth of a nerd,
right?
It's poetic.
Even that had like Batman being choked out by like freaking mud hands and crap like that. You know, like mud splattered everywhere. Like I was like, wait, what? This is awesome.
I did have some cool. I was going to show this is one of the Arthur Adam covers for Appleseed, which is one.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is, this is why I kind of see. I started getting into Arthur Adams and X-Men, and then I started getting Appleseed, and then he did 5 covers for the American release through Dark Horse,
See,
and they were
me,
all
the colors appealed to me on that one because
yeah. And there was some of the other ones he did.
Crap! Now I'm gonna start reading Appleseed. What the heck?
That's a
He
good
didn't
ride.
do the interior. The interior art, I mean, Shiro's awesome, but this is one of my favorites. Even as a kid, I remember trying to copy Barrios's pose in the background, the way he did the leg. I mean, I love that cover.
I mean, her iliac crest is sticking out. Like
yeah.
So
oh yeah.
far.
Yeah. He really bent her, kind of like
You have clothes on that?
yeah.
Wow.
That's, I mean, that is the point of like a good cover, though. It's like when you see like, crap, I need to read this.
Yeah.
Right.
To Friend's point, or just something that was like both comically absurd and also was an insight of the story that is forever burned in my mind, good or bad. If you guys know Combos,
oh man,
Combos, the Toasted Snacks, partnered with Marvel at some point to do Combo Man.
McFarlane?
I want to say it was, but yeah. So
I think it is. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So as a kid, that when he ate combos, he got a combination of powers from all his favorite Marvel heroes. The best part being he got the upper chest of Punisher and the lower chest of Captain America.
Oh yeah, I see that.
That was a distinction they made.
Then that's what they picked. It looks like he has a tooth on his chest.
No.
Yeah. For a minute I thought he was like Gingivitis Man or something. You know, I am out here promoting.
Man and Colgate.
Yeah.
You got Hulk for the head, Iron Man mask and whatnot, right? Punisher, Captain America, Wolverine.
Friends are biceps, like, Spider-Man's are hands.
You might, if you don't know those red lines on his chest, that's Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's when Daredevil had like a
down
red
there,
costume.
Or no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was.
Wolverine's brown
it's Sentinel's biceps and Wolverine's abs.
Yeah,
and he got Cyclops' knees. So his knees
like a Frankenstein of superheroes.
What?
Yes,
that is crazy. I remember this is that.
That's so great.
I'm gonna overtake the screen. This is what the comic I was talking to Mackenzie. This is Age of Reptiles.
Oh,
I have never seen this.
You've not seen it? This is the kind of interior art it does.
That's
it's just
oh my God, now I'm gonna go
almost
yeah.
like
I mean, like this is some of the images they would do in it. You know, and he's not, anatomically super correct, but like some of the artwork for it was just like gorgeous. And I think he did.
You need to imitate those poses. Have your dinos do that. Staying on a branch.
Yeah. He did. I think there were 2 series of it. You can find graphic novels of it. There's an Age of Reptiles, Tribal. They did like Tribal Warfare, and I think there might be just
13. That is $115. There's a lot of 4 that is $50. What kind of money are you getting me to spend?
I remember when it came out. I never got them, but I remember it was really cool because, like, again, there was no words in it. It was just like the journey of this sort of reptiles, like his. And and obviously, I think the guy was an Italian or European artist of some kind. He might be Italian. But yeah,
Europeans.
Yeah, and he would do and
because like I go antiquing all the time, and like that's what I look through is like vintage comics.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I get enticed by vintage things, and I have never seen those like any of these.
Really?
No. Now I'm gonna be buying them, and I'm blaming you. You are getting my bill. And at least I can write them off in my taxes. And if they tell me I can't, I'm going to say no. They said I could.
They said I could.
Licensed tax professional Jose.
Oh, man. There was a famous guy who did, because my friend Tom's really into dinosaurs and stuff. Well, that's Gregory Paul. I'll find this cover. This is also, it goes in with the covers. It's a book cover, but it was one of my favorite covers as a kid. And man, I'm gonna have to hunt this down. Watch what Tom's like. You don't remember that, but I'm like, I don't remember the artist's name.
Man, I don't know.
Right.
I love that comic book series Fire Breather. And oh my god, I'm trying to think of the.
Oh yeah, that was I know the one you're talking about. That was connected with something else.
Yeah. Never got into anything else. I just like the.
Yeah, William Stout. Have you ever heard of William Stout?
I don't think so.
You call yourself a fan of dinosaurs? What's wrong with you?
I own a dinosaur company. I never said I was a fan of dinosaurs.
I never said I was a fan. I said I am the dinosaur.
Because they make me money.
I mean, you have to make money to feed them.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
you would think they eat more, but the people that get into them eat a lot more than the dinosaurs do.
That's just weird.
This is, and I have to zoom in. As a kid, I remember finding this book cover, and his art is all through the book. But this is William Stout, and he does almost like like he does dinosaurs, but it's almost like the let me see. No.
Predator.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to go back. Here's a William Stout cover.
That one, the other one you did, the William Stout cover was it Art Nouveau style?
Yeah, Art
That was
Nouveau.
pretty cool.
He would do Art Nouveau type stuff with it. Really interesting. There's, I think, another one of his.
I love that.
Yeah, William Stout. Our favorite art, and I'll just torture you guys. You guys keep talking. I'll just torture you with all sorts of stupid crap.
Oh, we are.
We do get off topic more than the other streams. Did you?
I mean,
ever
we're the low effort show, man. We're that Silverline Show on Tuesday.
Every topic we talk about is on topic.
Exactly.
I know. Somehow we do connect it. Like when we went off for like 25 minutes about Phantom of the Opera, like we connected it back.
Right. Listen, I learned that from Tim. Like, oh man, we're kind of getting derailed, and I'm like, what can I say to bring it back?
Exactly. Yeah. The years of hosting experience just makes me really good at terrible segues.
Now, whenever we say we're getting derailed, just like acknowledge the stained glass behind me and be like, "Oh, Mackenzie's train." That means we're getting derailed.
Right.
They're perfect.
Like, look at the train. It's
look at the train.
Or just train. That is our Tuesday night safe word.
There we go. Yeah. No. The next time I'm just going to start belting the soliloquy from Phantom. Anyway, but we're coming to the end of the show here, so I'll play for last thoughts on covers before we close it out for the night. We kind of learned that general concepts is all kind of subjective, but generally you want to appeal to some form of hardcore nerdery, because if you got a dinosaur on there, or Hayden Christensen, Mackenzie's buying it.
Hayden Christensen riding a dinosaur, and she just is gonna die in the aisle.
Oh God, no! I'd be on the floor. That's a little too much for me.
Yeah.
Get me a little too excited.
Yeah.
He gave me what I needed.
Yeah.
I'm all done. My life's over.
But we didn't really even get to like the craft of it, but like the general rules of design, which I
think that and almost most. Like anybody that has a stream that talks about that, they want to talk about the general design, but like nobody really sees that, like other than the people that are creating it, right? From a creator standpoint, yes, I get that.
Yeah.
But like, what do we think? I personally, anyway, what attracts people to it?
Right.
Yeah, you can do the design, you can do the psychology, but like in the end,
right,
people don't see it that way.
Right. I mean, my preferred type of image, I like simple portraits, which kind of ignores the rule of thirds, because yeah, but
I mean, like these are the only portraits I buy.
Every time you keep saying portrait, I keep thinking of like the portrait of the Kramer, like a comic cover like Wolverine, but it's like it's like done like the Kramer or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. We have been That Silverline Show on Tuesday. We do have a Kickstarter going on right now, which you can back and buy 3 dope science fiction comics. That's right, 3 instead of 2.
That's right.
It's kind of a first.
And they're certified dope.
They are certified dope.
Yeah.
We do have some socials that you can follow us on.
Also, and I feel it needs to be like said because I think people are getting a little confused, but if you want a commission from the various artists that are on there, you get those through the add-on button on the rewards. Like there's no reward tier for the commissioned artwork.
Right.
It's an add-on for the tiers.
And since obviously you guys will be looking for my art commission,
obviously that's what I look for.
That's.
I think people are going to be watching the stream and knocking down my door for my Jack Sparrow and Ariel drawing. Actually,
that could be.
Right. I was waiting for people for me to get commissioned to paint their miniature armies.
And if you guys really want to torture Mackenzie, get her to do a commission of painting Christensen riding a dinosaur.
Oh. Now I know what my goal is to paint next.
I know.
Just you wait. I'm going to do it.
Perfect.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to fulfill my dream.
All right. We will be back next Tuesday with another That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern for Wednesday Wham, and Sunday again on Eastern Time for Silver Sunday. That's about it for us. To have any final thoughts?
No.
Share,
I mean, you can talk about covers all night, if you want to just digging up. But it's funny when you say, like, what's your favorite cover? I'm like, I don't know. 30 years looking at comics. That's hard to distill down.
I know. That's kind of why I kind of prefaced it with, like, what gets burned in your mind. Because there's a lot of comic covers I've seen that, like, I'm like, oh, that's dope. But, like, there are a few... Like the Frank Miller like Wolverine is kind of one of those ones where it's iconic, but also it gets burned in your mind. Like it's like that's rad.
There was another Wolverine one that was I'm not going to show it, but that was one like Arthur Adams something did, and it might have been in the Frank Miller one. He's fighting ninjas or something. That I was remembering it being the one. I don't know. You don't have to.
Well,
obviously.
All right.
The cover for another day.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll get back to you next week where we have another topic, but I forgot what it was.
And you probably have trivia next week, so you just have to wait till the following.
Yep.
Yeah. No, actually, I don't. And I was going to go to trivia tonight, but
I know. I thought trivia was tonight, and I was like, Aaron.
It was tonight, but my friend came down with the COVID. She's doing better. And she's the one I go with, and I just didn't really want to go into the city, so I thought I'd come and bother Mackenzie.
Oh, well, you did.
You did. I am
free from you.
I'm rather annoyed that you're back. So
absolutely ideal. All right. Well, we'll be back again for the Silverline. And until that time,
make mine Silverline.
Make mine Silverline.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Greg Horn. Make mine Silverline.